Welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Hope you guys are doing well today. Ninth straight day, over 90 degrees here in Texas. And I'm looking forward to, in about a year, I'm going to make my Texit from Texas. I just can't take this heat. It's too much for me. I know there's a lot of people streaming into Texas. A lot of gamers are positioned here. There's some comic book creators that are also living in Texas, some major ones. But for me, I got to go elsewhere. And I'd probably go where everybody's leaving is probably California. So I'll do my Cal entrance, where most people are doing their Cal exit. But just want to hit you up on this one here. It's called Unearth. It's Image Comics. Came out, July 2019 was the first issue. And it was a 5-issue arc on this one. Just want to say right off the bat, highly recommend. I like this comic. I had a lot going for it. Some things were a little bit unclear, but other than those little things, it was a really good story. I read it twice. First time I was like, I thought it was good. I wasn't crazy about it, but I read it again, and I think a lot of things sunk in much more than the first reading. And part of that is because I read them sequentially. I didn't wait a month between each issue. So a lot of things made sense, which I didn't even notice before. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm like the utility knife that sits out on the counter that you use all the time. So it's not super sharp anymore, but it gets used a lot. Anyway, getting through here, this is a story about a anomaly in the Earth in Mexico. It's inside a mountain and underground, of course. And within a few days of a cave opening up, seems to be some kind of disease affecting the inhabitants of the local towns there. So, and basically to me, this was kind of like a combination of The Blob, if you're familiar with that movie, or maybe even kind of Aliens too, in a way, because the adversaries that are under Earth are also different types. They're not just one kind. They're different shapes and blobby. Some are blobby, some are more snake-like, almost hentai, if you want to say that. And just a good variety of stuff. And there's a little bit of zombieism in there as well. So the main characters to start this off are, let me see if I got my list here, if I can remember them. Dr. Reyes, her first name's Amelia Reyes. And there's a Dr. Frankie McCormick, and both of those are women, Amelia and Frankie. And there's a Major Morris Cole. No, wait. Morris. I think he's a Sergeant Morris, and then a Major Cole, who's over the entire operation. He never goes underground. He stays up there. So what happens is they decide to go in under the earth to find out what's causing all these deformities of these people. And the people are coming out pretty disgusting looking. I want to get ahead of, see if I can get you a couple pictures to give you good look at it. The colors in all this are very garish, and the art it's okay. It's kind of comic-y. The same team works on it. It was written by, who wrote this? Let's go back to the front. You can see the names here. Start with that. Cullen Bunn and Kyle Strom. The art is Baldemar Rivas, and the letters were done by Crank, which I'm assuming is a company. Like I said, it's an Image Comic 5-issue arc on this. And it ran from July through November of last year. So let's go back to the blobs that you see here. This is what happens to people. They kind of get bloated. And that's actually was the doctor that was tending to some of the sick people there. So I got a Band-Aid on my finger. But the thing is, the two leaders of the group, the Morris, I think he's like a lieutenant, and Dr. Amelia Reyes. They both have issues. They both of them have mental issues, and it comes across pretty quickly. Reyes has been having nightmares and hallucinations and things like that, and it plays a big part when they go underground. And they have this neat shot of them rappelling down there. You can kind of see the group getting ready to go into the cave, and they actually have like what they're calling an EV or a mule. It's like an electronic pack mule that can also map out the caves and caverns that they go into. And they got this nice shot of here. Let's see if I can get this really nice of them descending down and kind of making comments. So what they find at the bottom is traces of either an alien civilization or an ancient civilization. It's not really made clear, but things are going on. They go in a little ways. They come up on a creature never seen before. They're just noticing the ecosystem down there is incredible. They all have like hazmat oxygenated suits, and the one Morris decides that one bug is really, it's not friendly. It's not a friendly, so he goes ahead and kills it really quickly. So that's the first sign that there might be something dangerous down here. And they also have the radar, and they pick up that there's another group coming in after them. They don't know who they are, so they kind of double back, and they see that there's a group of guerrillas that are in the local area working with the cartels and whatnot. But it turns out that it's not just them. There's like the first huge monster that they come upon, and it takes out the guerrillas, and it also causes the roof to fall in. At that point, the explorers are, another shot of the monster, are split in half. So there's half the group goes with the doctors, and the other half goes with this Morris, and Morris starts to crack. That's one of the gorillas that's getting consumed. A lot of people kind of just get absorbed into this blob-like thing. So very, very good storyline. I'm not crazy about the art, but it was okay in this case. What I found, though, is in issue 5, the art really fell off. I don't know if he was really rushing it, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like I said, ancient or alien temples. There's these ecosystems from every different chamber of the cave they go in. It changes. And they also stumble across this child that seems like she came from the village, but she's got something weird going on with her as well. So this disease can either just make people super bloated, or turn into zombies, homicidal zombies, or just consume them and be part of the whole organism that's underneath the ground here. I don't know what else I got to say. Okay, just going through it real quick. I give this a recommend. I think it's really good. It's a really solid story, and there's going to be a second arc as well. I got the 6th issue here, and maybe after the 7th issue comes out, I'll go do a review on those two as well. But interesting enough, there was another comic that came out in 2015 called Unearth, and it was written by John Paul Bull, but I think it was only available online. It was Bar None was the manufacturer, the publisher. So I don't think it has anything to do with that one. That one took place in a volcano. So just going over the sales numbers real quick. It started very strong. It had 20,000 units sold in July of last year, but then it fell off drastically. And I think part of it is because of the space. It would have probably done better as a graphic novel, just releasing as one, because the story is more solid when you read it one after another. So it was 20,000, then it fell off to 9,000. September it was down to 7,000. The 4th issue in October was 6,000, and November, the final issue, was 5,000. It is in trade, and the trade came out at like 3,500 copies only. Not too many, so there's a few floating out there. Now the real bummer is the new arc. It only did. Let's see. I take that back. I'm sorry. The trade came out. It was only 1,250 copies were shipped. That's all I'm showing. That was in January of this year. The new arc started March, and that was just about 3,400 copies. So really low for a new arc. 3,400. The other one started at 20,000. So it has that issue of being the first issue being so strong and then really falling off. However, I think this story is worth it. I don't know if anybody else has reviewed it. I'll check that after this. I like to see what other people say after I do it. So does it influence my reviews? But that's what I got for today. I hope you guys are doing well. This is the 20th episode. It is June 9th, 2020. And not getting a lot of views, but I kind of expected that. But at least I thought I might have to do 50 episodes before I got 50 views. And that's not been the case. I'm at like 58 views and I got 1 subscriber. I'm not sure who it is, but doing okay, and I'm having fun. So that's what counts. So you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes. Good day.